Testing. Testing. I think I'm working. There we go. Perfect. Good morning and happy pre-Hell Week, which starts tomorrow. I invited a guest on today, Bones, who has been begging me and pleading me every fucking week for the last year. Please, Egnards, please do something with me that isn't Three Scoundrels. And he's fashionably late, so we'll see if we get him in on here in a little bit. There is nothing going on in game right now, like at all. Literally nothing. I did take my pill. So I, like a smart little egg, decided not to do my dailies this morning so that, I could at least do something in game. Where is the game? Blah, blah, blah. There we go. And let's turn the chat area on for now. We'll see if Bonesy joins us later. All right. It's a TW Hero Day, except we are matched against an actual TW guild. And so I have no desire to really put in any effort here. As you can see, we are going to get stomped. That is, honestly, it's fine. We've won 3 in a row. I'm completely happy with it. Get through my frenetic energy of getting dailies done. I really made a mistake with that Daddy Egnard shit, didn't I? Like, really made a mistake. I screwed up. That's my bad. Oh, crap. I forgot what node I'm doing now. These things? 9E. Alright, 9E. I am so hurt for Electrium conductors. It's terrible. I have something I require an expert opinion on. I am at the moment farming 2 ships and a tune on fleet nodes. I have 2 ship farms that will complete themselves over time through assault battles, so I was wondering if it comes to the time where it's just not worth refreshing ship energy, as all I would be used on is gear. I don't refresh ship energy, to be completely honest. I don't do it. During, like, when we had triple drops, I refreshed it because I definitely need, like, the G12 purple here. But I've stopped refreshing ship energy. It just seemed like a natural progression. So take that for what it is. Everybody's at a different point in the game. For me, it just doesn't make sense to do anymore. I guess I could for Zimbittles and Electrium conductors. It might help. But I'd rather have the crystals, which are a little bit more flexible for me. And battle. Oh, is Bones a Kiss messaging me now? There he is. I set my alarm, not thinking about time change. This dumbass. Let's just tell him. Dumbass. Alright. Bonesicus forgot that he now lives in a different place that has a time difference. So, silly him. Excuses. Oh, thank you, Stream Elements. I appreciate that for, the thing that we worked on together, and you get some gift subs out of it. I Whether or not you should refresh the node for a ship really depends on whether or not you need the ship. If it's a ship that you're just doing for the sake of doing, I wouldn't refresh it. Those 25 crystals add up. If it is something you're doing for the sake of like actually needing it, I pretty much always at least 1x refresh anything that's in the game. Just to get it done, really. Do I want mods today? Yeah, we need speed mods. And I think it's a... Yeah, those stream element gifts are courtesy of the people that helped with the Gungees fundraiser. We got a few gifted subs out of it as well. I don't even know what I didn't do yet. Squad Arena? I don't think I did Squad Arena yet. Or... I don't know. I've been running these on auto instead of just getting out of them now. Just mostly because I can. Yeah, so speaking of the raid, I feel like I want to wait until Bonez is done prepping himself before I talk about the raid, because I feel like he's gonna have a lot of thoughts on it that I'm gonna just end up repeating things. So AJP, hang on a minute on that, and we'll talk about it once he's here. I have a lot of thoughts. That's all I'll say for now. Is anyone else finding... Has anyone else been finding that this focus datacron just completely ruins PvP? Like, I honestly... I've always not been a fan of GAC, but I've been getting more into it lately. And I've just been finding that this datacron makes it so not fun, and I have it. Owie, man, like, if you asked me on day one, I would have said maybe get them. But I don't know if I would bother now at this point, honestly. Because you're going to end at 40 of 65, you'll end at 47. You'll miss out on one set, I think, of era battles. I can't imagine ever having my crystals that low. That's definitely a first world problem. I disagree, Robinson, Mrs. Robinson. I actually think the datacrons have made PvP way more interesting, but I like the datacron sets where it's majorly B teams that are lifted. I think that a lot of sets CG has done a really good job with, but these focus datacrons have just made it so boring. Every single one of my matches has been a crapshoot of who beats the datacron and who doesn't beat the datacron. It just becomes like this silly thing that isn't worth it. I think that without datacrons right now, GAC would be the most boring thing. You know, imagine, before datacrons came out, full clears were fairly easy. Without datacrons, then just think about how easy full clears would be right now. It would just be a super efficiency battle. It's not interesting. I mean, Howie, for era battles, the first marquee in a set is the most important one to get, but I think you're close enough where you're not going to be losing out on that much. Well, if you're able to do the era battle and get the 2,000 crystals back each time, then sure. Then 100%. Yeah, there are definitely datacrons that are really fun. I love Sidious Cron, even though I didn't use it as much as this set. The first set where we had it, you know, I used it quite a bit. I like when there's just silly things, especially things that work well on offense. But a lot of these, like, super heavy, like, I don't know. SLKR is, like, one of the best teams in the game. And when you give the best team in the game a buff, it's kind of dumb. I like when, I think the highest team that should be buffed, it should be like 2 shit tier teams should get buffed, 1 B tier team, and then like maybe 1 A minus team gets like a minor buff. I'm gonna tell you, Xander, I really hope we do not see a pirate fleet. I can't handle 2 eras of pirates in a row. You know, a pirate fleet in a year, fine. But I literally, if they give us a pirate GL and then they say, by the way, pirate fleet right afterwards, I will feel like it's out of fashion to say I will kill myself. This is not 2004 anymore. But I will be so frustrated. Well, yeah, the Hermit one is really great, but it's very offensively focused. You know, like you do have to play it right to really, really, really make use of it. The FDC one, it's a whole nother beast for offense and defense. And I'm still waiting for that Profundity Lifter. Order 66 raid. Ours is finishing up today. We have made it back to our old box, which is nice. So we are getting back our old rewards. I think I am also on the same personal rewards, so I'm back to where I was with Naboo. But one thing I want to talk about before the intelligence level of this stream significantly drops when Bonez pops in is, I think, and I was thinking about this last night, a lot of people think of ROI, and it might be partially my fault, in the wrong way. And I think a lot of people misunderstand me when we talk about ROI, right? And I've been thinking about it in relation to this raid a lot, and like, oh, the ROI on getting this character to R9, and it's not worth it. When we talk about straight ROI, like, am I getting a return on investment? We're typically talking about teams that don't have any other usefulness to them. When we have characters that have usefulness outside of that ROI, you kind of think of it like it's a bonus, right? Like, yes, I can say I get a return on, so like Quad May is a really great example, the Lover Boys. We can say, yes, you get a return on your investment after a year. So you start being net positive. But the extra bonus was Naboo Raid on top of that also gave you a really great team. And it also gave you one of the most useful defensive GAC teams. Kind of the same thing I'm looking at this raid for. I'm going all in on this raid and all in on raid teams because all of the teams do very well in TB. And my guild is at a point where we need R9 TB teams. So for me, it's like, yes, I'm putting in all this effort, but I'm also getting great teams out of it as well. All right, I think Bonez is ready. Let's just pull him up. Start a video call with Bonez. How many weeds were pruned in the process? Actually, since the raid started, not that many. It's Bonez! Bonez, you're not on stream yet. You got to give me a second to get you set up. But how's it going, brother? Doing good. All right, let's transfer over to this one. Let's share my screen so you can see what is going on, sort of. I guess my in-game stream. Uh, and have to make this, no, not full screen. We need to make it a grid view. Grid view. How do I do that? Grid view. There it is. There's Bonesy on his vertical cam. What do I mean? You're right there. Well, no, I have to go back to grid view now because you messed me up. There you go. And let's. What? We're gonna shift this over, and we're gonna move this because we don't need to see me, because my beautiful mug is right up there. And we've got Bonesy in vertical mode on his phone. Now, are we getting Florida Bones? Are we getting Meth Bones? Are we getting upstanding citizen Bones? All right. People should be able to hear you now, too.
What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all. What's up, man? I haven't got to hang out with you for a bit.
Doing okay. I feel like the last time you were on here, I was still struggle bussing it with the Mac and had no idea what I was doing at all. And now I only slightly know what I'm doing. Adis, you should be able to hear it now. I was in the middle of fixing his stuff. I think you can hear him, right? Owens, keep talking.
Yo.
Yeah, you should be able to hear him now. I see you on my monitor. It's just so many different sources that have to be jumped between and curated.
Yeah, so that was probably about 2 years ago, whenever you first started.
I started actually about a year and a half ago, but yeah, it was very early on.
Yeah, I had to do about 5 months of sexual favors to get on here, but I paid my dues, and I'm back on an Egnards stream.
And things look pretty now. So right before you came in, we were trying to have an intelligent conversation before you brought it down. We were talking about the raid. I do want to answer one question real quick. Someone was asking me about how many people I pruned in the process. A lot of our pruning happened before the raid started, and we got rid of like 5 people. But since the raid started, there are a couple people who just aren't there yet in terms of scores, and they still have time. I know some of these people do have enough and they'll get it done later. But I've basically let them know, like, listen, as long as we're currently hitting the box we want, you have about 3 months to get where you need to be. And as long as you're pushing and as long as, like, I'm seeing consistent effort, like, I'm not mad. But that's kind of where it was. As far as R9 teams, because my guild is in R9 territory right now, and we need those combats now in order to get to our next star. Bones, I am curious about your take because I don't think you were on 3 Scoundrels on Thursday, right?
Not this Thursday, no.
No, okay. I didn't get to catch up yet. I've had a busy weekend. The raid update, not update. I keep saying update, but the raid announcement, the potential nerfs coming. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm not smart enough to know what these changes are gonna do. I did want to comment on what you were just talking about, though.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to be negative this morning, even though I just woke up. But that's what I kind of hate about this newer raid system since they went to this system is that we all start over at the beginning, but not all of us have the resources to start at the raid at the same time in the same way. You know what I'm trying to say? So like,
no, I understand. I get it. Like the people who are able to spend more or have more resources saved up are able to be prepared more early on, right? And you're kind of thinking
they're
about
safe with their guild.
Yeah.
But some people that aren't safe with their guild, and it's unfortunate. It's not that anyone's trying to be mean. That's just how the way the game goes. but it seems like CG likes to set us up for failure when it comes to guild interaction,
Yeah.
guild content, and it always seems like when something new comes out, people are getting kicked out because all the bigger players are trying to stay right where they were. And with the raid, it's the same exact rewards, but you're having to start over. And this is the worst ever because you don't have a lot to use. I get it. There are a couple teams you can use right away for the most part and put in some numbers. I've done a little bit. I've actually put in a little bit of time into figuring it out because I'll
Okay.
have to for the next year. But what I'm trying to say is it just kind of sucks when some people have to go and kind of rethink what they're doing in the game because of the raid. Um, I got kicked out of MC3. Um, okay, that's another thing I want to say is like, so I'm completely free to play. I have a 13.7 million account, and I only have Bad Batch to Relic 7. I think.
Yeah.
I don't have. I don't spend any crystals to buy characters. I think I'm going to start now,
So
getting
that's
up to what, four
the
star.
new
I think.
Bad Batch at our Relic 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
the new Omega team, and
I
then
call them Target Practice
yeah,
Boogaloo personally, but just me.
mine's the new Bad Snatch or Bad Snatch 2.
Um,
Electric Boogaloo, yes. What's funny is
wh-
my dad used to always say that. I never understood what it meant, but my dad always
it's the
said
big
that.
internet thing now. I have a couple
Yeah,
thoughts. Number one, so you have Bad Batch at Relic 7, so that's 1.8 million, right? And then
yeah,
if you take Tarkin, that's 300,000, so that's 910, that's 2.1. And then you do a
yeah.
Hondo Solo, that's 2.4. And then, even like Keller and Beck with Mandalorian, just a crap tier team, like shitty, shitty, shitty ones, that's another 1.2 million. Like someone in your position, you're still looking at
Mm.
3 to 4 million, and that's if the guild averages that, that's the eighth box out of 11 boxes. So I think the thing that a lot of people aren't realizing is that you can do a lot in this without actually having that much. There's just a lot of doom and gloom when you see all these new teams, and I do understand that perspective. Um, from my
Well,
guild
so I didn't even
perspective,
know. I didn't even know about all those actually. So
you
I didn't
see,
know about the Hondo Solo or
yep.
something like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
can already do a lot better than what I thought I could. So okay, that's
there's
good.
there's a
Good.
lot more than people realize. And then when it comes to like my guild, when we talk about the weeds, we've been talking about this for like the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that's why they're referencing things as like the weeds. I totally understand that, and that's why I'm saying like, so I don't want
Yeah,
to call out anyone in particular. Again, these people, I don't know how many attempts they've done so far, so I don't know what
yeah,
their score will end up being with 10 hours left. And we do have a lot of people who do things in the last minute. I will say that at least one of these people has reached out to me, and who they've been a guildmate for like 5 years now, and about being concerned about being kicked. And kind of like what I said
yeah.
before, at least in my guild, and I know not every guild is like that, I am happy as long as you're putting in legitimate effort. The unfortunate thing,
Yeah.
and we've gotten rid of a lot of them, is you have the guildmates who never want to put in the effort. They only ever want to work on the thing they want to work on. Yeah, it's Bones, right? We're describing Bones
I wouldn't
here.
know anything about that. I wouldn't
Um,
know anything
and
about
it just becomes like, hey, you have 50 people in this guild working together, and 49 of them, half of whom are free to play, are all pushing towards a goal, and you're refusing to push towards that goal. And it becomes like it's not fair to everybody else. And those are the
Yeah,
people that I want to get rid of. I don't want to get rid of the people who are saying, hey, I don't have the resources. I'm free to play, but I'm really trying. Those people
yeah,
I'm not concerned about. Those people I'm
yeah,
happy with. But it's also
yeah.
why I don't handle guild removals, because I'm too sentimental. I'm too much
Same.
of I don't boot people. When we vote on booting people, I abstain pretty much every single time. Because
Yeah,
I feel bad every time, even if it's somebody I don't normally talk to and very rarely talk to.
same. Yeah. Except I'm not an officer, so I don't have to worry about it. Um, yeah. When it comes to like what needs to be done, I'm actually usually one of the first ones to start working on it.
Yeah.
Like when when it comes to requirements, right? Not luxury teams, but when I know something very important is coming up, guild or not,
Hmm.
I don't do this for TW, but I'll do um my platoons or whatever for my rows. I'll make that a priority or whatever they need me to do.
Yes.
So I day one I've been farming my ass off, but even free to play 13.7 million account, I don't have a lot of crystals like you guys do. I have like 4,000 right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty good. I agree with you. If you're just, but I get it. There's a lot of those people that are just so turned off by honestly the game in general, and sometimes I'm wondering why you even play. But especially for this raid, I get it. It's more free to, or it's more pay to play, I guess you could say. Even though you just gave me a bunch of teams to get a bunch of millions, maybe that's not the truth. We can talk about that more.
The truth,
But there
I
are those people
promise
that
you.
just
I promise you it's the truth. I have done this raid on like 10 different accounts at this point. Like,
yeah, no, I believe you 1,000%. But there's just those people that are just always pessimistic about the game. I'm
yeah.
usually one of them. I'm too busy to be pessimistic right now. But I get those people are kind of the ones that I guess is like, all right, we'll go on your way. But yeah, the ones that are working their asses off no matter what, for sure. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
I completely understand.
I have a new guy in my guild, and he is a spender, so like I get he has way more resources than a lot of people, and I let him in because I know him really well, and he is someone who busts his ass. And he was saying to me a week ago, like, because he's like 3 GLs down from everyone else, and he has like 2 million less GP. He was saying like, I can't compete with you guys in TB. I'm ineffective in TW. Like, I'm throwing all of my resources towards the raid so that at least I can be like a heavy contributor somewhere. And when I joined this guild like 5 years ago, I was just a guy on Reddit who got maybe a dozen upvotes sometimes. Like, no one knew who I was. There was no, oh, Egnards. I wasn't a content creator. I was not free to play, but I maybe had spent $100 total at that point. And I was mostly, I don't want to say mostly free to play because I hate people who say that, but like I very rarely spent. And I was behind everybody in the
Yeah.
guild. But I made sure, hey, my usage of my crystals, my usage of my fleet and my arena income, it's going to go towards the smart things so that now I'm somebody who even still is maybe GP wise not at the top of my guild, but I do very well in the raid. I do very well in
But
TB, in TW, and everything. Well, not TW. I hate TW. But in most aspects of the game.
it's gotten interesting because they made it to where, as a player, you kind of have to choose your expertise in the game. Are
Yeah.
you a TW player? Are you a TB player? Are you a raid? I guess TB and raid could kind of go together. A
Right now
player?
they
Are you a
do.
GAC player? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So, I guess that's kind of cool. I don't know if it's a good thing. What the fuck was I gonna say? I
I
had
don't know what you
something
were gonna
good to
say.
say back to you. I don't know either. Well, with that being said, you were talking about changes. Do you know, are these I don't know. I've been too busy. I didn't read into the changes. I'm barely even gotten
Okay.
the strategy down on the raid yet. Are
So
these
there's a
good? Are these
few. There's no. So these
yeah,
are all what players would consider to be nerfs. There's
okay.
two. There's
Gotcha.
maybe two major ones. No, three major ones that people are concerned about. Number one is that Bad Batch is currently bugged, and their R9 modifier is happening at all levels, making it easier to use them than they should be. Um, which they actually let us know about literally day one. So I don't think anyone should be mad about that. I think it's they communicated to us this is bugged. It will be fixed on day one. Um, so that is not a
Agreed.
problem area. The other major one is they are concerned that Keller and Beck is overperforming. Um, and that can be a frustrating one because that's the most free to play friendly team. But they did say in the post, they said he's overperforming, but right now we don't think we're going to make any changes. We're going to monitor it and see. So that's unlikely to be changed. The big one that everybody is really worried about is there are a lot of undermans happening. And they
Okay.
they clearly in the raid modifiers tried to make it so that you can't undermine this raid. I don't know exactly where in the details it is, but if you go into the battle with less than 5 players, Lord Vader has less stacks that you have to hit with. And we have found a 2-man clone team. We have found an alternate 3-man clone team so that both teams, you can get 7.2 million with just 5 characters. There is a 3-man mace team. There is a 4-man Bad Batch team. So I think that they are concerned. Like, you can max the raid with 15 to 16 characters, and they've kind of said, hey, we're looking into this, and it's probably going to be changed, but we're not sure. Nothing's been confirmed. No changes have been announced. They've just kind of said, hey, this is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so the anti-establishment Bones is like, fuck yeah, fuck the system, we can underman stuff. But I get it from their point of view. We just came out with this new raid. We want you to have all the new characters before you can even really do much. That's a horrible thing, don't get me wrong. So while we're talking positive about it because of the teams you can use now, it might be a whole different story if they fix all this stuff that you're telling me. So yeah, that sucks. But what do you do about it at the end? I'm getting older, so it's like I don't rage as much as I once used to, and I apologize, everyone. I wish I would. I know you guys like it.
I was gonna say, like, a year ago, you would be like, man, fuck the system, guys. Like, screw CG. CG coffee. Like, fuck him. But
I forgot about CG coffee. Where's he been at?
I'm proud of I'm proud of Bonez with a job. Bonez with a job is a is an upstanding
beard. A year ago, it was all black. Look at it. It's fucking gray as shit.
That's what happens at our age. I know my lighting right now is pretty decent where you can't really see the gray in my hair that much. Except for the 15% of people. Yes, 15% of you watch me on your TV. So I'm sure you can see the gray hair.
Do you know that? Is that an actual stat?
It's a YouTube analytic that roughly 15% of people watch me on their TV. Good morning, by the way, to everybody popping in. Beat and Slooty and who else just popped in? I don't know who else popped in, but good morning to everybody.
What's up, guys? Good to see y'all. I'm actually watching you on my TV or on my client's TV.
See, there you go.
It's weird.
You're one of the 15%.
Seeing you guys on. Yep. I'm also one of the 2% that people want to sit on their face. I heard. That'd be a Gungi award or Gungi.
That could be a Gungi award. That could be a Gungi award. Man, I have to work on that this summer. I'm not. It's one of those things. It's like this catch-22 of like I'm super excited for it because it was so much fun last year, but it's also so much work. It is such a daunting task that I am not looking forward to it.
Now you're burdened with that. People are going to expect it every year.
I know.
You're fucked.
I know.
Now.
Because it's fun, but they don't realize I have to coordinate between 20 different people, and then I have to put it all together, and then I have to be anxious for a month while I'm hoping that nothing goes wrong. And like last year, I got COVID that week, so I was sitting there like muting myself and unmuting myself every 3 seconds to cough. And it was not a good week for me.
You know, I haven't talked to him in a long time, but Paul, the Paul and Nev who did Escape Podcast, dude, Paul is a fucking genius when it comes to like doing things like that because they did that live GAC. I might have to get a hold of him sometime and just see if maybe he can help you with certain things because, dude, he did what you did with the Gungis every single week on the podcast because he had live sponsors. You know, he had his own cartoon, all kinds of shit. And we would switch back and forth between the live show and then obviously it was always live in between pre-recorded stuff and everything. I mean, I know you can do it, but he would be a good help. But I'm just rambling on. But yeah, and I know you have to be better and better every year. Every year. I'm sure that's stressful.
Every year. We just did a Stream Elements like fundraiser and we raised a bunch of money that's going towards like the budget of it. So we that's exciting. It has helped. We just sent like Moonborn, who does all my graphic. I think he was working on something for you. Um,
Yeah, yep.
I just
Since I got a job, I got him doing some things for me. Thought I'd help him out.
so we just
Help
sent
me out too.
him like $200 from the Gungi's budget for like non-free software, like legit like stuff that he wants to help him, which will help him with everybody with creation.
Yeah. Moonmore
Um,
deserves it, man. He's a good guy, and he
no,
helps a
he's
lot of people
awesome.
out. So
He does so much
yeah.
great stuff. For those of you that just missed it, while Bones and I are talking, I am popping into Vaanced's account to do his stuff for the morning.
All right, so update me on just what the hell you've been up to, man. Because I keep seeing these Vance events, but I've been busy. So,
Oh my
what is
god,
going on with you and Vance? I keep, like I said, seeing all kinds of shit going on.
Vance is just
team.
Vance is just a silly guy. He reached out to me and asked me to help him with his mods, and I felt bad for him, and he does pay me to do it, but like I feel like saying like it's not. It's more like like when you ask a friend for help and your friend gives you that quote that's like, I'm gonna charge you, but the amount is so small that you might as well just buy me dinner or something.
Right.
So I'm just trying to help him out with everything. He's just an interesting
Are you doing
character.
his actual stuff? Are you doing his stuff?
I do a lot more for him than I agreed to. But I don't go in and do his conquest. I don't do his GAC. I help him farm things. I fix his mods, not daily. I told him I'm not going into his account daily. It's just not happening. But overall, it's been interesting.
Timu Bones. He's like a Timu Bones.
He's a Timu Bones.
He's like my son.
Sometimes I go in, sometimes like maybe this is your son and you don't know. I go into this guy's account sometimes and I'm like, what is going on? So is that what you're doing right now? So I'm on his account and I've been doing a video series where I just document me being on his account, fixing things, because it's been fun.
That's funny. That's cool.
The funniest part about it though is that every time I do one of those videos, I lose subscribers on YouTube. So you can check your you can check your subscriber growth per video, and it's always negative on those videos. But it's just so funny to me that it makes me want to do it more.
Vance is one of the first people I ever got to know on your Discord server. And he is one of the most hated people in all of Swugga. Fuck Arnold. Fuck anyone else that you hate. Vance doesn't even make content. He is hated. I like the guy. This isn't me saying my opinion about him, but
yesterday
he goes into Facebook messages and Reddit and just pisses everyone off.
Yesterday, he messaged me to let me know that there was a government informant in my Discord server. That was an interesting conversation. I'm not going to share the details of that conversation, but it was a very fun conversation.
And is it true though? Do you have a government? Are they spying on me right now?
How the fuck should I know? And how the fuck should Vance know?
I don't know. That's a great question.
It was just very much.
It is interesting.
Hey, go ahead.
I'm sorry, bud. Go ahead.
No, I had nothing to say.
Oh, I'm just saying it's interesting to find out some people's occupations that you've been talking to for years, but you never really ask those kind of questions. But it's very interesting over the years.
Yeah, I used to play WoW with this guy who was like a CEO of some company. I was like, I never knew.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah. I've been helping you out in the raids, bud, for 3 years now. How about I'm your assistant? You need an assistant job?
Like help me out. Come on.
I'd be a great assistant.
Bones knows
also
about
want to shout Owie out. I want to shout Owie out in the chat. Love Owie. That's who gets me the greatest Yak player status is Owie. Without him, I can't do it.
He is a bigger content creator slut than Havorius, and I love it. I see him in
But
every
see,
chat.
Pavorius just comes along and he's like, do you watch? You probably don't. Do you watch like sports shows where they just sit there and argue all morning about a
No,
subject in
no,
sports?
I don't.
Like whenever like I do. So when they bring up like a subject that obviously everyone agrees on, that there's that
He's
one
like
guy
the
that just
counter
has to
object.
take the counter. Yeah, that's hilarious. Even if he doesn't believe in it, he's gonna counter you anyways.
I I
Always here
I
to help.
I love Avorius. I really do. And when we did Three Scoundrels, he came on the 99th episode. I was like, dude, we're
Yeah.
literally the same person. Like, you and I are the same person. This is ridiculous.
Anyone who gives me a bunch of shit is good in my book, I say. Um, yeah, so speaking of GAC, I think I saw your chat talking about it already, but I do want to rant about this fucking Datacron set.
All right, cool. Because we did a brief rant before, but I'm here for it because normally I don't care, but I do in this regard.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's the same thing everyone's talking about. It's this Raycron. It's just the
Yes.
Raycron, but it's kind of like a 2.0 of the Dodge Cron. Not because there's Dodge, because if you don't get past it, you're probably going to lose. And guess where it's at? It's in the most important front sector.
Mm-hmm.
So in 3v3s, the bottom sector is the most important, right? That gets the most banners.
I want to say
Am I
yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's if your opponent should be putting it there. So if they are and you don't get past it, which is about 70% of the time, I don't get past it. And maybe people like Allie or you can help me with some better ways to get past it. But I'm some of you may not know, but I'm taking a break because I'm pretty much homeless, trying to get my shit together. Thank God I am, because this would not be good content. I purely stream my podcast and my gags. There's nothing else for you to learn from me, or not learn, and this is horrible. Okay. Let me backtrack a little bit. I have two accounts. I have a 13.7 million and a 12.1. I kind of do different things with Datacrons to feel them out on both accounts. I have way more hoarded resources on the big account, so I was able to take the Hodacron. At the time, all I heard was about Hoda, right? So I took his up first. I bought the Raycron. I took Hoda's up instantly to 15, and then I worked on all side Datacrons, right? Dude, I have nothing to show for side Datacrons. I have the Hodacron, and that's it. Like, I might have 8 Datacrons total, apart from Hoda. I think 2 of them are 9. Most of them are 3 and 6, and the stats are terrible, you know. And the thing is those Datacrons, the regular ones don't matter if you just went all in on the Raycron. And I probably will next conquest go all out and level 15 that. But I don't have the resources for that on my 12.1 million. I literally don't even have enough episode pass points to buy it because I spend it all on my Omicron.
Yeah.
I don't buy the pass, and I'm not gonna lie, a little bit it's my fault because as far as episode pass points go, because I don't have the time to do everything. I can't max out galactic challenges. I can't, I just don't have the time to do it right now. It'll come back to that point where I can't. But just the fact I can't even buy the fucking thing sucks. But
It's tough.
I did do very well with the Datacrons, just the regular Datacrons. I did amazing on that 12.1 million account, but they're doing me nothing. I got some good level 9s. I got the Bears Cron, which is pretty insane too. Like, so what it's saying now is like, I guess I'm gonna just hoard my resources and wait till every data comes back on what the best thing is in the future, and then I'll just start working on whatever FDC if they're broken, and just not even worry about the other one, because you could have literally not worked on one single Datacron and just went all in on the Dark Raycron, and that's all you need for the next 4 months, because you're just stopping people, and even the smartest people don't have the best option to overcome it.
It is
All
one
I'm
of those
hearing is
things.
Hodacron, James Hay. Go ahead, I'm done.
It's one of those things. I don't really stream GAC. My wife she started going on these business trips like once a month. She has to go to her company and deal with stuff. And I was obviously I'm upset because I like seeing her and I like spending time with her, but I was excited because I was like, oh, I could do more nighttime content. I can do more like GAC stuff and like do that some more. The
Yep.
FDC cron, FDR cron, the Franklin Delano Roosevelt cron. Um, it has made it to the point where I just don't even want to do that because you don't know what you're going to get into when you go into a GAC. I like to just do the hardest battle first and get it over with. And
Same.
nine
That's how
times
I approach
out
it
of
too.
10, I'm losing that battle. Now, with that said, I also have it on defense. So, like, it becomes okay, I've lost the battle. I've cleared everything else. Will my opponent clear it? If they clear it, I lose. If they don't clear it, I win. Um, and it's just one of those things, just like with Ray and Hezra, where it's you just throw shit at the wall, you throw your thing at it, and you win or you lose. There's no like crazy way to beat it based on the realistic defenses that people are putting in. So I found it to
Yeah.
be now. I was actually enjoying doing GAC over the last 6 months since I stopped turtling. I was like, wow, like the game is in an
Yeah.
interesting place. I'm enjoying this, getting full clears. It's fun. But now I'm back
Yeah.
to like, I just don't, like, I don't care. Great, my GAC takes 10 minutes now, but like, I don't care. My last match I
Yeah.
won because we both didn't clear the FDR cron, and I just did better otherwise. It's just not interesting.
And yeah, I'm guessing you have the cron, correct?
I
You
do.
have
So I have it on
the
defense
same
too.
cron.
I'm just as much a part of the problem. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that other people are the problem. I'm saying the cron itself is the problem.
Yeah, of course. And that's what really sucks is if you have it, then I'd be more optimistic. But both of my accounts don't have it, so when I
Yeah.
see it and I fail, done. I'm because they're gonna beat me because my defenses aren't easy, but they're
Yeah.
nothing you've never seen before. Where there's nothing that can't be beat really because we've all had enough practice against even Ezreal. Can it throw you off a little bit with Ezreal and Ray? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that the Bears call is kind of throwing you off, but it's still not
It is much more
way
reliable to beat
overpowered.
that versus
Yeah, right.
like I've done Bane +1, I've done Bane +C, I've done JMK. I have to do JMK with GK, which I know is not as good as Mace, but my Mace is only R5. Um, and
That must
the,
be
the
why I'm
big
losing. 'Cause mine's only R3 too. So
the biggest problem though is that the cron is actually bugged. So like Ray should not
okay,
be
so
triggering
yeah.
bonus turns off of Ray. And so if you go into a mirror and you go, hey, I want a full clear, I'm going to put this on offense, it's still a crapshoot because they're just countering each other endlessly. And that's
Yeah,
not
she
supposed to
hits it
happen.
fucking 14 times. That shit pisses me off. Even though she's not doing a lot of damage, she revives her fucking people when she kills you. So when she's hitting you 14 times, that's happening a lot more often than it should.
Yes.
Um, yeah, yeah. So is that how you're doing it? Is JMK? Is that how everyone's doing it?
That's one of the
Even in the
ways to
chat.
do it. It is one of the ways. I don't have the Hodacron. Well, I have the Cron, I just don't have it all the way up yet, and I probably will do it um, next week. When Conquest comes out, I'll get that one up. But it's, you just throw shit at the wall and you go, okay, I've lost, and I'm going to go try to clear everything else right now. Who's Ani's talking about the fact that Vance has not um, is not leveled up, activated this new marquee. And what I will say, Ani, is that he did do the marquee battle. He just didn't activate it. There really is no reason for Vance to activate these. He doesn't have the credits to even level the character up high enough for me to do tier 2 of the event. So like it's not even worth it for him to activate them. I'm just happy he got the shards.
Okay, well, I got some other things to ask you about, but yeah, what else do we want to talk about in Crack right now? Any other teams besides that? What are you doing with Barris?
I
Because there's
have
so
the
many
Barris
things you can do
Cron.
with her in 3v3.
I have the Barris Cron on offense right now for threes. I don't really feel like it's this big game changer in threes from what I've seen. And someone who's much better at GAC can yell at me in the chat and say I'm a fucking moron. But I will counter that with I've never said I've been good at GAC. Uh, I haven't.
Um,
I just haven't found a great use for it in threes.
there's a lot of decent teams actually. Obviously the Ray one everyone's bitching about. What did I, dude? I was looking up on Insights because that's how I set up my stuff every season, every new
Okay.
3v3 or 5v5. I go to Insights, who has the most holds, and I look at all these weird teams that I've never heard of.
Mhm.
That's how I do mine. Um, there was this weird one. What's up with this Ahsoka and Watt and
Oh
Barris?
yeah, Ahsoka Watt, and I haven't seen it with Barris, but I've seen Ahsoka Watt
It's somebody else.
and somebody
Yeah,
else.
that was a weird one. So
And
what's
I
happening there?
actually
Oh, go
so
ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
I've actually been beating it with C. You do like C Watt Armorer, and it rips through it just fine.
That's kind of
When I
like
see
the
that,
JML Watt counter. Pretty much, that's what you got to do too.
yeah, and
So I've sat that, and it's got some holds for me.
mhm.
Um, I guess what it just keeps her taunting. I guess
I guess
is
so, and
that
it
what
keeps
Watt's
like bonus
doing?
protection up because like if you have bonus protection in the beginning when you use tank tech, then the bonus protection gets counted in terms of like when you increase every turn.
Here's a conversation for you. Like I think we may have talked about this when you were on Three Scoundrels, but like now that everything's said and done, and it seems like she just came out, Ahsoka.
Mhm.
We're already getting another GL. Um, what's your looking back? What's your thought on Ahsoka? Like, is she not the most useless? Maybe GL in the game. Take away Ezreal. Don't even think about Ezreal being in the team.
Well, I
Just
think that
her as
that's
a
the hard
GL.
thing. I think the hard thing is that she was built and designed around a very specific team, and
Yeah.
Ezra
No
is
one's using it.
a part of that specific team, but he just works better with Rey. He doesn't work better
Yeah.
with Rey. He works better with Ahsoka, but like he works better in terms of defensive aspect for GAC. So everyone
Yeah.
throws those two together.
Yeah.
Without Hezra, she hits like a fucking limp dick. Like she has no power. It's so boring to watch. It's like, all right, let me just turn on auto and watch them bitch slap each other. Like it's not interesting. I honestly very barely, very rarely use her because without Ezra, there are a lot of B plus teams that she just cannot damage, that she can't kill. She won't
Yeah.
lose, but she can't kill them either.
Yeah. If I see if I don't even put your Ahsoka on defense if you don't have Ezra with her. Because I'm just mowing her down with Bo Katan or Night Gilfs. The grandmothers I'd like to. Are we PG here or can I say whatever I want?
No,
I
I curse
forgot.
all the time. We don't.
Right. The grandmas I'd like to fuck. What are the fuck their names? The grandmas, the Night Sisters. Anyways, um, yeah, that's what I do. So I don't even think people should even put it on defense because what I like about the Gills is that I forget I have them on offense. Their power level's so low that you have to
Yeah,
go all the way down, and
to
I'm
the
like,
bottom.
oh fuck, I got the Gills.
I
It's
got
actually
these
a nice
guys.
surprise. Yeah, and so yeah, I just mow them over with a team I forget about.
What I'm finding
Um,
surprising right now, by the way, I just realized that I have you on here, and I guess Nenan must not be here, but not a single person who is on Twitch has
I already
redeemed
know.
a
Yeah.
fuck you bones, which I thought about when you were asking if we were PG here. Um, I'm
Forgot
just
about
I'm just
Yeah, you
surprised.
created that. Am I? Yeah, what an idiot. Guys have been gone way too long. I leave for fucking a month, and you guys just fuck you bones disappears. It's on so many channels. Womp Rats integrated it like into his system, like it's what's fueling his streams is Fuck You Bones. So
Womp is a
come
funny
on,
guy
guys.
because he will he just puts so many little things into his streams.
Yeah,
And you're just like, what? When did this happen?
he's like fan service for Swugga, like those movies where they just put a bunch of Easter eggs or games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he help you much with your stuff? Because he's another person that is a
Well,
fucking genius.
I talk to him. I talk to him often. But I generally try to figure out my stuff. And don't typically need help. I know he was telling me that there was like a free way where I don't have to pay $19 a month to dual stream, and I've just been lazy.
Yeah.
Because
So I can do it.
OBS
Sorry, go
doesn't
ahead.
let you use nesting folders. And I love nesting folders, so I just can't live without that anyway.
What's a nesting folder? Like one a
So it's like
subfolder inside of a
folders
folder?
within folders. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I need
Um.
nesting folders.
Yeah, he set me up with that a long time ago. And not only can I dual stream to YouTube and Twitch, I can dual stream to any place that allows streaming. So, um, I don't do YouTube anymore because I'm just anti, like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. So I'm playing Star Wars music. I'm playing, it's the music that fucks me over with YouTube. I should really
Well, what you can
quit being
do
so stubborn.
with YouTube, because I've when I've played certain games and forgot to turn music off, um, you don't get a copyright strike. They'll just be like, hey, we have to demonetize this because blah blah blah. But your other option is YouTube will give you the option to be like, do you want us to re-edit this and remove the music? And I've done that before, so that
How do
you
they do
can.
that? And they don't
I
take your audio away? Your
no,
voice?
it just takes the music away. Yeah,
Okay, it's been a couple years, so I might try that because I don't give a
yeah.
fuck if that. It's crazy that they have advanced software to do that because, um, you
I
know
mean,
how many
think
times I've wanted to like take music away from lyrics and like remix them with other things. I can
just
never figure that out.
think about it's YouTube. It's not Meth Bones in his little meth lab, trying to
My
mix
meth beat.
a DJ track. You know, it's a little bit different. Uh,
When you have to get your life together, but you're on meth making mix with Celine Dion and fucking I don't know Wu Tang Clan or
oh my
something.
god,
I'm probably I might have something going there.
there you go, man. Hey Nana,
Um,
Nana, we were just talking about you like literally a second ago, and you just popped in. So good
have
timing.
we still not gotten a fuck you bones yet? I'm a little
Not even a single fuck
sad.
you Bones. I know it's terrible.
What
Screw
about an
subs.
ignore Egnards?
I don't need subs.
Ignore
I need fuck
Egnards
you
in the chat.
Bones.
Yeah, like I'm sorry I can't reciprocate the subscriptions when I'm on when I'm on the show, but I
No, no,
do
no.
appreciate that you bring to ours.
There we go. See, there we go. So
Back in Nala,
Bones,
thank you, buddy.
Bones, we just got a fuck you Bones rant, which is my favorite because then I just get to go on a tangent about Bones. And I just want to say, and I've said this before, Bones is one of the first people that helped me out with streaming when I kind of started to learn this stuff and I didn't really understand what was going on
Let
in
me help you
streaming.
out here.
And there you go. I don't even need a rant. Just look at his look at his fucking hair.
One braid's out.
Just
I got a bunch of other
just
ones
look
in
at the
here. It
hair.
doesn't matter.
Well, what I was going to say was, as much as I appreciate him as a friend, he is a whiny little
Fuck
bitch.
you.
I am
As much as I love.
constantly helping him out with his show, constantly on. And it's always last minute. I'm always the booty call at 2 a.m. It's never like 3 weeks ahead of time where he's like, hey, we're looking to do this great show. Logan does that. Logan, if he wants me on Three Scoundrels, he says, man, I loved that video you did. I really want to chat about that specifically in 2 weeks. Can you plan to be on in like 2 weeks? But Bones will message me 48 hours, like, no, not even, that's too nice. Like 12 hours beforehand. And he'll be like, wow, my A-list guest bounced on us. Scribe said no last minute because he has literally anything else to do. Do you want to be my late night booty call? Right? So I end up being the late
Yeah.
night booty call for Three Scoundrels. Bones then treats me like shit while I'm on Three Scoundrels. He negs the shit out of me. And then he has the fortitude afterwards to bitch and complain to me that I never invite him onto my streams that rarely have guests anyway. Like, some of the stupidest shit ever. So it is annoying.
Because I'm sick of you fuckers. I help you out, and then you guys surpass my popularity. Womprat did the same fucking thing. Now it's because you're hard work, nothing to do with me. I'm sick of helping you guys, and I don't get any airtime on your guys' stuff. So you guys owe it to me for the rest of your lives.
Well, for the rest of our
It's not your
lives.
Reddit popularity. It's because of me helping you out how to hit live
Well,
and put your little thing up on screen is why you've gotten so far that you have.
well, I was gonna say that it was more, I think, my Reddit popularity of already having a built-in audience, and I've tried to tell people that when they start streaming, and they're like, "Well, you grew so fast," and I was like, "No, it's because I had 3 years of an audience in text, so I already had name recognition." And then, oh wait,
Look
let's
at your
just finish
face.
this
Look at
Bones
that
rant.
fucking. Okay. And then we'll talk about your
After
beautiful, clean shaven face.
after this piece of shit gets invited on, finally, he shows up late like a piece of shit. I'm sitting at my computer ready to start brunch at 7:20. Nothing. 7:45, I go live because I'm like, oh, fuck this guy. And then another 20 minutes go by before you're like, oh shit, I forgot that time zones exist. My bad. What is this shit, man?
What's funny is I even woke up and was like, "Oh, I didn't look at any messages. I just like, oh, it's 6:50. I got a whole other half hour to sleep in." And I was like, "Wait a second. Why is he live already?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"Fuck."
right. When is this guy
Like
getting?
this fucker. Yeah,
I,
I'm an asshole. I'm
he
that
is.
guy.
You are. You
But
are 100% that bitch.
there's too many of you guys giving us information. We need someone to make you guys a little dumber. And that's why I'm here. I'm the guy that makes Egnards and Calvin and everyone else feel smarter about
Makes us
themselves,
look
feel better
smart.
about themselves. Yeah.
You're the one who makes us look smart because they go, well, it's
Yeah.
them or it's Bones.
You
And
need a guy like me. You need a guy like me in your group to get you laid. You may not get laid a lot,
okay,
but you bring me into your group, you look better automatically. You look more
I get it.
attractive
I
automatically
get
because
it.
I'm into your group.
So you're the 2 that makes my 6 look like a 9. I understand.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I feel
And
that.
I'm the kind of person that makes the world go around, guys.
Like the
Thank
girl at
me
the bar
for.
looks at you and goes, well, it's him or that.
It could be worse.
It's kind of like, so there's this thing I do special ed. We call it illusion of choice, right? Like,
Yes.
which
Yep.
is basically, a kid doesn't. I used this last week when this one little girl in my in this camp I do, we were doing a karate class, and she's like, "How many more things? Like until we are done and they get to go swimming?" And I told her 10. I was like, 10 more things because the class just started. So I was like, 10
Right.
more things. And she goes, no. She's like 6. And she goes, no, 3. And in my head, I'm like, this is not a negotiation, bitch. Like, I got this. So I said
Right.
to her, I was like, listen, here's the deal. How about it's either 15 more things or 10 more things? And of course, she goes, oh, 10 more things. Right? So it's the illusion of
Got
choice.
her.
It's you
Yep.
get Bones or you get Egnards. And they go, well, Egnards looks like the better deal. I got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Trying to think of what situation they would pick me over you, but I'm struggling to figure that out.
If they have a meth addiction.
That's true. That's true. Now I'm thinking about it. Most of my exes do.
There you go.
Damn, I didn't realize how true that was.
There you go. And you thought we were all joking with you.
And what was crazy is, I think I drive them to do meth. I don't get them hooked. It's
They
like,
just
all right, we're leaving, and I'm gonna go on a bender. Now that we're done.
and they're just like, this is what makes sense to do.
Yep. Yep.
God,
Yep. Yep.
get all these
Um.
doesn't done.
So what are you doing today on your stream? Just fucking around?
Not this is like I said. This is the Sunday where nothing is going on in game. And normally I just
Bones is here. This is an extravaganza right now.
we do this thing that we're doing now where I do nothing and people still show up for some reason. Um, and I figured let's try a guest. Let's see how that works out. I do my roster reviews once I'm done with Vaanced's account and just marveling at it. You know, I have a few reviews for you to derail. Um,
Ooh.
and then Hell Week
Oh
is
yeah.
the fun week where there's just too much to do that Sunday. And I actually have like 3 people in my guild who are straight up going away next week. And I'm like, I'll like sign into your account and do your deploys.
That is such a pain in the ass, though.
Yeah,
Just to log in for someone, CG. That's one of the things you could fix. Fuck territory wars. Make it to where in 2 clicks I can log into another account. I don't care if there's 6 of them. Obviously you guys don't care. You act like you care. You
yeah,
don't. You can just make it easier for us and not acknowledge it even. But god damn, it's like American Online
with all the sounds
fucking
that
trying to get in
like going on
it.
for, and it's like
You have
midnight
to
and you
get
have to
on.
put a pillow behind your computer because your mom is sleeping and you don't want her to know that it's like 2 a.m. and you're watching porn. Yeah.
And you can only watch porn after 5 p.m.
Yeah. Only after 5 p.m. Easy. I'm not running other accounts so much as I recognize that it'll hinder our TB. And I told every one of these people, like, I'm not doing their shit for them. I'm not playing for them. Um, you know, if like Smugglers Run 2 comes up, I'll auto it for them. I'll auto their assault battle. But I'm basically gonna platoon and deploy so that our guild doesn't suffer. Anything
Yeah.
beyond that, I'm not doing. I'm not spending more than a couple minutes. It is a pain in the ass to sign into other people's accounts, and I don't do it on my phone. I only do it from the PC client. So it's really just to keep everything guild related from falling by the wayside.
Is Beezy one of these people you used to log in for? He
No,
sounds a little irritated that
no,
you're not doing his too.
no.
Oh, so
He's like, wait a second. I caught you in a contradiction. You've contradicted the things that you've said about yourself in the past.
get him, guys.
Yeah,
Don't hold back on Egnards, please.
I contradict myself all the time.
Well, fuck. There was something that I said I forgot about earlier. I remembered it, and now I forgot it. All in the same thing
What a-
again. It's something I wanted to fucking talk about. God damn it.
Dude,
Talked way too long.
I told you that your job was to come up with topics this morning.
The Terminate, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Love you, buddy. Okay, well, I don't know. Let's talk about something else. We can go back to the raid a little bit. So they're nerfing this raid. What's the point of pirates? Like, is that
Well, I
gonna...
think that's kind of what the problem is really, we lost. Pirates are supposed to be the 5th team, but because of all these undermans, they're not really even needed at all. And I get it from CG's perspective. Like, I understand that they try to do everything in their power to not allow these undermans, and it still slipped through the cracks. And, you know, people are going to say, like, oh, well, testing, and they should have tested. And my thought process here, you know, and I'm piggybacking off of Pico Burrito because he's the one who said this to me, and I was like, oh, this makes sense. If you think about a QA team in a game, even a major game, you have a handful of people, right? Like, even if they have 6 testers, those 6 testers cannot compare to the 10,000 people on the raid server.
Yeah.
There are 10,000 people there specifically looking to break the raid, and the 6 people they have, there's just no way that they can put in the same amount of stupidity to figure out breaking things. So I understand the position they're in, but I do think they have to be very careful about how they go about this because people are going to be mad.
Terminate. I still got the cornrows. I still got the beater on. I just had to dress up a little bit for
Yeah.
Egnards.
Bonez was just in Jamaica picking
Yes.
up some
Super
skunk
duper
weed.
man. Okay, so I have a weed story.
Oh God.
Saint Martin. Have you ever heard of Saint Martin?
Yeah.
It's a Caribbean island.
I said I heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have a timeshare there, so we go there every year.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably 14 or something. We're going through the market. Like I said, it's kind of like a Jamaican island. I don't know geography wise. I thought Iran was a continent last week, guys. So I don't know geography wise where Saint Martin is. But
that hurt me so bad.
But anyways, I was 14. I just started smoking and stuff, and so some guy I think asked if I wanted some weed or something, and I was like, sure. And it was this sketchy looking Jamaican dude took me down like a maze of alleyways and like reached underneath the AC unit and like sold me some, and it was terrible. It was terrible, by the way. But then, and then
Well,
we're
I
just
said
walking along. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that's why I said it was skunk weed. Like, what else did you
Literally
expect?
from a skunk manure weed. And then this is like the end of the story. It was an amazing story, but I'll always remember it. And I'm walking down, just hanging out, and me and my dad smoked, so I was like excited to show him. And then he's like the guy that sold it to me is on a balcony. He looks down at me and puts his thumb and goes, "Super duper man." That's the end of the story, but I always thought that was hilarious, and
I'd say that that's more of
I'll
a
never forget.
mild anecdote at best.
Yeah. So if I say that, that's why I'm saying super duper. And I
We'll
think
all
a lot of
remember that.
most black people think it's racist when I say that. Don't tell them why I say that. But what do you do? I got the pass, guys, so I can say whatever I want because one black person told me I could, so that they account for all black people.
Is
Just
that
so you
how
know.
it works?
Yes. No, it's
Nice.
not. I preach at white people for that. Like, just because one person told you doesn't stand for everyone. Anyways,
Well,
enough about my racial rules. My racial rules. That's Lincoln back there. He's part sheep. Um. Anyways, what the hell were we talking about?
I don't know, but I
I don't
want to
remember.
piggyback off of your free pass, and I'm very excited to say that I went up to see my nieces last weekend, and this is gonna get me canceled too, and it's okay. But
That's the
my
bones.
niece
That's when bones is on. You're getting canceled.
my niece recently came out as part of the LGBTQ community, and I'm their status is their own business, and they were joking about going to Target, and I was like, you can't go to Target, like, and I knew that they were going to be like, oh, why? Because I'm part of this community and Target, blah blah blah. And long story short, I was given a free pass as as an uncle with a queer niece. I was told that I'm allowed to go to Target and Chick-fil-A, which is awesome because they do have a
Okay.
great chicken sandwich. So I feel very happy that I'm allowed to do that now. I just need to get a physical pass that's laminated that says no, it's okay. I'm allowed. I've been given permission.
I'm still waiting for my white privilege to show through. When does that happen? That's what
No,
I
you
want.
have meth privilege. That's a different kind of white privilege.
Dude, meth heads are the luckiest people I've ever met. They'll walk up upon like 5 grand, just walking down the street or some shit, something stupid, or they'll go to the fucking, they'll spend their last $10 at the casino and hit on a jackpot or some shit. Or I'm
I,
fucking homeless, doing my best, being a
I've
good person.
I was thinking about this last week as I was listening to a podcast, and there was this guy on there who was talking about when he was like 20, how he's now sober, he's now clean, he now works with recovering addicts and like helping them. But he's like, at the time, I was doing $300 to $400 a day in coke, right? And in my head,
Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
how the fuck did you find that much? Even selling all of the shit in your parents' house. How the
That's a lot
hell?
of money.
How the hell do you
Yeah.
find that much money? How do you keep that
Did you
habit
ask him that?
up? No, because it was on a podcast, you dumb shit.
Oh,
Um,
podcast. Okay, yeah.
like
That would have been my first question. Yeah.
we're talking about a guy doing this for years, right? 1 year of doing that is $146,000. Like, what the
What?
fuck? How?
He had to have been over exaggerating, or did he have maybe some people are functioning crackheads, so
I don't
you
know,
wouldn't even
man.
know it sometimes. So maybe he
But
had a great job.
but I hear this kind of shit
Um,
all the time where they're like, yeah, I was doing like $800 worth of meth a day. And you're just like, I can't, I go to like McDonald's once a week and I'm like, this isn't, I can't do this. This is $10 a week. This is too much money. I just
well,
don't
you also got
understand.
to think most meth heads are living on the street or living with other meth heads that are also they're all just it's a community of people. Their job is to figure out how to pay for their meth,
Yep.
and so when you're all working together,
You pay for
maybe he was
meth.
sharing. Well, maybe he was sharing $400 of coke between other people.
So it was a meth share.
That so yeah, so their job is to figure out how to get their next fix because they don't have anything to worry about. They're living in their little shack, and they're doing what we need to do.
Living the life.
Welcome. Well, what's the ROI on $400 of meth
There
every
isn't.
day?
There's no ROI on that, man. There's no ROI. I'm just
Here's what
wondering.
bothers me about meth heads, though. I don't care if you're doing it, but you're awake for 5 days at a time. You're you're wanting to do stuff. Why aren't you doing anything productive? Like you're wired, you're working on stuff. Why are you repainting your bike for the 17th time this week? Why are you building trailers out of fucking I don't know,
Go get a
weird
job.
shit? Like what? Yeah, why are you tinkering with things? Like you said, smoke your meth, go get a job, or I don't know, volunteer or something. Like do something with your life. You've got the energy to do it,
I
but
think
they don't do anything productive.
generally the people around you know that you're on meth and they're not okay with it.
Yes.
That's typically I think what the case is. Um, that-
Also, you're 22 and you look like you're 74.
oh,
We're not an idiot. We know. And that's a really sad thing about it is you can see some beautiful people
yeah,
young, and after a couple years, yeah, I know we're joking about it. I'm not going to get too serious about it because that's not why we're here. But it is sad because in Kansas, man, that's the thing to do.
oh no, I know I've seen
No,
it.
I'm not really on meth. I'm not really on meth. I'm not doing meth deals.
No, I don't
Um,
believe that you're actually on meth, but we saw meth deals happening behind you on Three Scoundrels.
yes, yes. I do live at a crack house though, so
There you go.
I do abstain from it.
That's
But
okay. My first apartment was I remembered I played Star Wars: The Old Republic with this group of guys, and this one guy lived in Long Island, not too far from me, and we planned like this weekend. Him and this other guy I played with, they were gonna come over for the weekend. They were gonna bring down their. I don't think the Switch was out. Yeah, I think the Switch was out at this point. They were gonna bring it down. No, the Switch wasn't out because I was working somewhere else. So it must have been the Wii or the Wii U or whatever. We were
yeah,
gonna bring it down. We were gonna play like Smash Brothers all weekend and just get blitzed. And I get a call like 3 hours later, and he calls me up and he goes, "Yo, Egnards, I think my GPS led me to the wrong place because this looks like a crack den." And I was like, "Oh no, that's my apartment. That is, I do live in what is essentially a crack den." It was like it actually was a lot of fun. My roommate was not a drug user at all, but like we lived in like a
yeah.
complex. It was like this 3-story house with 4 apartments in it. And
I already know what you're talking about. Yep.
everybody knew each other. We would all just walk into each other's apartments. and just like say hey. Like the doors were always unlocked. And then there was
Yep.
like 5 or 6 other houses nearby that was all the same way. Where you just
Yep.
walk, like everybody was in everybody's shit all the time.
That's kind of cool though. Yeah.
I had one time we had this weekend roommate that reminds me of you actually, who would just come in on the weekend. His parents were rich, but he was a drug addict and like they cut him off and he would stay with us for the weekends. And one weekend he came in and he ran through the I was the only one awake because I wake up early. He ran through the door and just started throwing bacon, egg, and cheeses at everybody. Is he bought everybody bacon, egg, and cheeses, but he was also drunk. Um, and for the people
You
who
know, it's a
weren't
meme,
awake,
right? That's like a
what
meme, a real life meme.
is it?
I don't understand it, but my kids say bacon, egg, and cheese all the time. So it's like a YouTube meme. I'm sure that some famous kid YouTuber started it, but
Oh well, this is before
chat
that
let us
kind of
know.
shit. This is
No,
15
no, I
years ago.
know, but it's funny that that's yeah. Continue on.
And you
I
also
was
have
just
to
saying maybe
remember
it's a
that
meme.
I live in like the New York, New Jersey area. I was in New York at the time, so it's a very bacon, egg, and cheese, legit bagel place at 4 in the morning kind of place. But he left a note for the people who were sleeping, and the note just said, "Free bacon, egg, and cheese in fridge. Don't wake me up. Leave me the fuck alone." It was a very, very, very funny, fun time in my life. Um, it was like an
Yeah, I've had
interesting house.
yeah, I've had times like that when I was younger too. I stayed at my this apartment complex, and I already knew a bunch of people. I didn't know that I knew them, but yeah, when I moved in there, I was like, oh shit, I know half of you guys here. It was kind of the same thing. Yeah, the good old days when you didn't have a lot to worry about.
Yeah. Now I go back
Also,
there because my buddy still lives there, and it's different. Everyone's grown up, and it's not as like methed out. My buddy still lives there, and I go over
that's
like
bad.
maybe once every few months, and I'll walk in, and I'll just be like, "Oh my god, I lived in this. Like this, this is where I live. Holy shit."
um, how far do you actually live from New York, the city? I don't know
Um,
because New York is New York, and then there's New York
yeah,
City.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
how it's
So
already hurting.
we usually, my wife and I, if we go into the city, we take the bus. I don't like driving in the city. It usually takes about an hour to get in, but that's also because of traffic. If there was no
Well, that's not bad.
traffic, it would take about a half hour.
No, that's not, I didn't realize you were that close.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're super super close. And we'll go in. Like I think we're planning to go in next weekend just to go to a bar. Like we like the bars there. So we'll hang out for the day, day drink a little. We know people. Like there's this one bar we know. For anyone who lives near the city, my favorite bar in the city. It's called Beer Culture. It is right next door to the Moulin Rouge Broadway show, and we go in there
Okay.
and like we have met one of the bartenders from the Broadway show there because we've seen him there like a dozen times. So
That's cool.
now we like know him. And when we went to go see Moulin Rouge, he comped all our drinks. My wife, I had asked her to get me a whiskey drink because they usually have like two mixed drinks and one was a whiskey drink. She asked him for whiskey, not a whiskey drink, and he gave me like a full cup of just straight whiskey. Just because, just a friendly guy. So we've had some interesting city nights too.
Same price? Did he give you
No,
the
no,
same
he
price
gave him
for
for
it?
free. He like
Oh shit!
the
I couldn't
first
turn that down.
drink. We're the kind of people like you're giving us two drinks that are free that would cost us $70. So we gave him like a
Yeah,
$50 tip. Like a huge tip, $50. Um,
don't encourage that. I'll be. Here's another one, bud.
yeah.
I'll be doing that to everybody all the time. Just give me 50,
Well,
not the
that's
company.
of course like for him, like it's a good deal because the company doesn't make the money and he makes the money. But he was also just a nice guy because when we went back for round two and I tried to tip him again, he's like, "Dude, you gave me way too much. Like, no, just here's your drink."
Yeah, yeah. That's okay. Okay, well, I wanted to congratulate you guys since you're technically in New York that for the first time ever, New York didn't have anyone killed during 4th of July.
Did that happen? Wow.
Congra-
Wow.
Congratulations.
Good job. I mean, I'm in Jersey now, but I grew up in New York. I was born in New York, so awesome.
I
Good
just
for
saw on
us.
Facebook the mayor announced that. I was like, good job, man. I guess your guys' murder rate's gone down more than ever. Yep.
New
So I
York
just
is
wanted to-
doing, it's making moves. It's like, you know what, we have to do better. There was a time where walking through New York was like super scary. Now, like I just don't give a shit. It's not anywhere near as bad as what it used to be. Um,
I need to come up that way, man, because you. How far are you from Avant?
I don't know where
How far
Yvonne
is
lives.
he
Doesn't
from
he
you
live
guys?
like Baltimore or some shit?
Like like Maryland. Is that a long way from you guys? It's above you,
Maryland,
right?
Maryland, I think is like 4 or 5 hours.
It's not bad. That's not too bad.
Five,
But
five,
yeah,
five, 5 hours. Logan's about
You
2 hours
Logan,
from
yeah.
me, and just like
Yeah.
Phil, Logan ghosted me. He's like, "Oh, dude, next time you're up here, let me know. Like, we'll go get a drink." And he just completely ghosted me that weekend. Um,
If Logan
it does.
fucking ghosts me, and I fucking drive a caravan over 2 weeks there to get there, and he ghosts me, I'm fucking finding his house, and I'm gonna fucking court his daughter, and I'm gonna quickly make her fall in love with me, and I'm gonna marry her, whether I like her or not. And he's
You
gonna have to
know,
deal with me for the rest of his fucking life because he ghosted me once.
speaking of caravans, think about this. You could do a YouTube series called The
Yeah.
Bonez Trail, and it's just you making your way to New York on like a bicycle with one of those red scooters behind it, one of the wagons, and the
Yeah.
wagon's got some like food and stuff in there. And it's just you every day, and your phone is like hooked up on your bike with you pedaling along. Like, oh shit, guys,
Honestly,
today got dysentery. What do I do? Do I go
I
to
had
the
to
urgent
saw my
care?
foot off.
I've got $100 to my name.
I got dysentery. What else could you die from in that game?
I don't know, but
Whatever else.
I just started playing it on my phone because I have like the Apple Arcade for free with Verizon, and I just downloaded it today. And of course,
That's a
within
great
5 minutes, my entire group has dysentery. Um, so
It is such a
okay,
fun game though. I remember like the 80s, the
yes,
computer lab,
mm-hmm.
and you would go into school and it was all green text and
Mm-hmm.
you could hardly do anything. But like the one game you could play was Oregon Trail, and for those computers it was pretty fun. Um
Our
so I used to
computer
always play that.
class was an old guy with a computer cart who'd wheel it into our room, and he would pick
Oh,
one
okay.
person each week to like control the computer while we played a game. Um, Sometimes it was
Okay,
Oregon
what
Trail.
how old are you?
Sometimes, dude, I'm 37. But that was
We're the
my
same
school.
age. Yeah,
I
we're
know,
the
but that
same
was
age.
my school. We didn't have like a computer lab. We'd play Oregon
That's crazy.
Trail. We'd play Number Munchers. There was like a this mystery um like puzzle game where you had to solve mysteries, but I don't remember what it was called. But it was a lot of fun.
And then when they upgraded, they had the um like the see-through Mac computers.
Yes, I
Remember the
had those in high
console?
school. Yep. In high
Yep.
school I had those.
That's what they upgraded to. Yep.
I took like video
Lady Geek,
production in high school and did a sweet
click that
Linkin
YouTube
Park
link.
music video.
I've become so numb, I can't take you
me
there.
me and my buddy were on a project for it, and we it was a Final Fantasy scenes from Final Fantasy X and Linkin Park, and it was actually pretty dope. Like it was
Worst
pretty
Final
good.
Fantasy ever made. I was
Go
so pissed.
go away.
What? What? Okay, I wasn't into Final Fantasy. I'd watch my cousins play it.
So you're
After
irrelevant.
nine, I was like, so after nine, I was like, I'm gonna start getting into this. I like Final Fantasy. And then 10 turns into non-turn based. I'm stupid, guys. I
Ten,
don't like real-time strategy. I
10,
want
10
turn based.
was 10 was like an active turn based, but I think you could actually turn that off and make it full turn based and slow. I think there was a setting to do that.
If so, I'll go back and play it because I had no problem with the look or the music or the characters.
Yeah,
It was just
because
the gameplay I didn't like.
10 was still like watching turn meters go. I
Yeah,
think there was a way
didn't
to
you
make it.
charge?
Yeah, it's
Didn't you have
at
to charge your attack or something like
hmm
that?
It was like I think called active turn-based versus passive turn-based, and passive turn-based is like what you're looking for. Um,
Yeah.
and 9 I think had the same. 9 is my favorite because you could play that multiplayer. Like you could set
Yeah.
up 2 characters to be controlled by a second controller. So that was a lot of fun playing with my little brother growing up.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could co-op it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the only
8
one.
and 9 8 and 9 was peak Final Fantasy, I think. I mean, if you like, I've heard people say 10 is the best, but my God, those soundtracks though,
Oh
I
my
have
god.
all those, and I usually play them uh whenever.
Old Final
I
Fantasy
don't play Star Wars.
soundtracks are legit. So
Now,
Bones. All right, finish.
yeah.
Give me your thought first.
No, I think all I was gonna say is I went back and played all the Final Fantasies after I got back into it. That was all I was gonna say.
I've done most of them. I
In the,
stopped
in the
playing them after 12. I tried 13. I didn't like it. I tried 14. I didn't like it. Now 14 I like. That's the online one. I tried 15. I didn't like it. I haven't tried 16. Because like you, I did
it's
kind
kind
of
of
like the turn-based style. 12 was like a mix between real-time strategy and turn-based, and I kind of liked that. I wasn't really a fan
well,
of the later ones.
it's kind of like the Resident Evil series.
Yeah, you guys were
They
talking about that on Three Scoundrels a few weeks ago. I never really got
well,
into them.
well, do you remember? Like, did you ever try them? You know how it was
So
set, camera angle,
yes.
tank controls,
So what's
that
funny
kind of.
is the one that I've
Yeah,
played through is the one that people are like, oh, it's kind of the shift because I've played 5 like 4 times and I enjoy it.
it's
Um,
co-op. It's very unique
that
because you
that's
can't
why
do that
I
with other.
that's why I liked it because I could play with my brother. I played it with my older brother. I played it with friends. I played it with my little brother. Um,
Yeah,
what I remember is I did not play Resident Evil as a kid. I never got into it. I never tried it. And when Resident Evil 1 had its first remake, my buddy, who is a huge fan, he had me sit down. He wanted me to start it. And I was walking through the mansion and I was like figuring things out. And there was one point where like I walked past this window and one of those dogs like jumped through the fucking window. And I was like, no, I can't do this. No, it's not happening.
yep, that's a very iconic. It's a very iconic scene. Oh, I wish you would have played 2 because there's some fucking jump scares that are more than the dog.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I don't. I love horror movies, but I find it hard to play horror games. I really do.
so
Uh,
every live action, never judge any of that. There's not one good one out there on Resident Evil. But when it comes to like zombie lore,
yeah.
I think Resident Evil has the hands down best story ever made. Even if you're bored, just go look up like a fucking lore video of Resident Evil because the story's so good.
You know
But then
me.
it
I
goes
don't watch
downhill after.
videos. I can't watch
No, I know.
videos. I can't do it. I can't do it. People send me videos all the time. They're like, "Dude, check this out." I'm like, "I'm not going to watch that."
That's like
Um,
when my best friends that I trust know my taste send me reels, even though they're like 15 seconds. I'm not watching that, man.
I'm not. And my
No,
friends know that.
I'm not
They will
watching it.
send me a reel and I'll be like, "You know that I'm not clicking that link, right?" Um,
Yeah.
Robbie, this is Bones. Bones, you don't really need to know him. Um,
No, fuck Bones. Fuck me. Just say
he
fuck this guy.
I would say he's the king of bad takes, but he lost the Gungi for bad takes to Fat Phil. But he likes to think he's the king of bad takes. He is one of the hosts of the Three Scoundrels podcast, which is a podcast of bad takes, to be completely honest.
One of the worst podcasts you could spend time listening to. Don't
Three
listen to it.
Scoundrels is like a Hollywood. Um, Three Scoundrels is like a Hollywood agent, right? Like they give starts to all of the Hollywood actors, and they get all excited about it. Except all of their Hollywood actors are D-list stars. So Three Scoundrels likes to take credit for all of these careers, but they're the careers of content creators who are meaningless. And I'm
That no
aware
one
that
knows.
I'm aware of that I'm one of those. Like I'm saying that making fun of myself as well.
What's funny is like you do the same. So we like pass them down to you. Like we source them out to you
We're Eskimo brothers.
afterward.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We are.
Hey, We're Inuit brothers.
You know
Okay?
what? Sometimes I communicate with some of the A-listers too, but I like to give starts to people that I think are pretty cool.
I have
There's
a
like I don't
question real quick.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Have you talked to Meathead lately?
Yeah, I have. I have
How's he
actually.
doing? I have to ask you that every time I see you.
I talked to him a few days ago. I talked to him about the proposed rate changes. That is a privileged conversation. And when I say privileged, I don't mean he gave like I don't have any information from his side. He's very good
Guys,
at being
did you hear the
tight-lipped.
word privileged? Privileged from Meathead? I'm
What I am
sensing
saying,
shill vibes right
what I
now.
am saying
Very
is that I
shillish.
gave him my thoughts on the rate
Oh,
changes,
he's
and
privileged to have your opinion, right?
he
Is
is
that what
privileged
it
to have my
is?
opinion. Um, but he reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him. I don't like slide into his DMs. He slides into my DMs.
Yeah, that's me. For a while, I was sliding in his DMs. We talked quite a bit, but I
No, he's a
just,
nice guy.
you
I
know,
try
I
not to talk to him about Star Wars much because it's his job, and I don't like talking about work. So I talk about other things.
same. Every time I can't stand it. Some of the best people in the chat do this, so no offense if you do this, but I can't stand it when we raid him or he's somewhere and we just start flipping out on him about something
Yeah,
CG did or asking him questions like, guys, he's not going to tell you anything that you don't already know.
and it's his
You know,
downtime. It's not his
um,
work time. He's not being paid for that time. Like it's not fair. So I try not to.
and if you
At all.
want him to be more, if you want him to be more open to us as a community, it's very important that we don't really, like you said, talk too much about Swugga. Really, he's not going to reveal anything new to you.
He's not. He's
So just
very
go and hang out
good.
with him.
He is so good at ghosting people when it like he will just shut it down. He won't even say no. He'll just stop talking.
Yep.
He's so good at that. All right. So just to
When
kind
I
of
get,
catch up,
oh, good. Yep.
um, Ani, Final Fantasy IX is the best one if we're talking about numbered. Final Fantasy Tactics is the best one overall. I'm willing to fight anybody on that.
No, I love
Lady
that.
Geek,
I
you
love
made a
it.
huge mistake joining the Fortuna Discord. You are going to have to deal with them cosplaying as different Discords every month. I promise you that you will regret it. And BZ, when we talk about, the JV teams for the 3 and 4 man, my thought is that there is, and I'm going to say Bones' favorite thing, there's a lot of ROI between multiple game modes on having these teams at higher levels. So I try to look at it as like, yeah, I took the whole clones up not because of the 2 and 3 man, but because I need that team for other things too. I'm bringing Bad Batch up after that, not because I need them, but because I need them for other things too. I have a funny feeling that when I do get Jedi Master Mace Windu, second run because I'm a poor ass, um, that I will also bring them to R9 because my guild is in a position where I need those R9 teams for other things. Now, Bones, my it's still early. We're not leaving. I'm not kicking you out. There's still mimosas to share. I have about an hour left before we have to go to the movies, and I feel like people
Review time.
will be pissed at me if I don't do any roster reviews today. They'll get mad.
I love Ross review. Let's
I
do
know,
it.
I know. So we're
Let's do
gonna we're
it.
gonna set that up, which is gonna mess you up your Discord source for a minute, but we'll figure that
Yeah, it's
out in a
fine.
second.
Um, I'm also making food for Lincoln here. While we're doing that, while you're switching over.
Sounds good.
I will say I can't wait for your organized, fucking overly organized roster review, and get ready for a bonesified. I
God,
don't prepare. I
I
look at
don't.
the 3 things you don't have and be like, hey, Jabba executor, what the fuck are you doing?
So you
You're at 10 million and don't have Jabba or executor. There you go.
so
Bye.
you're
Give me my
you're
$5 for a beer.
so you're in the nooch you're in the nooch style of roster review.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll charge you $40 for a 5-minute roster review, and you've learned nothing
and
at all.
and
You
now when
get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
as I say that, I have been talking to him a lot recently, and he is a nice guy. I'm lightly making
Very
fun of
nice
him.
guy.
Um,
Yes, same here. He's a busy man. He's a busy man for sure.
yes. All right.
When you
So, let's see. We have Sean, where is this? Let's go to my roster reviews.
Yeah, help me find his
Sean
pants.
Rowe. What are you making for breakfast for your client?
Me and Lincoln are having, well, he's having macaroni and cheese and breadsticks.
Damn right.
He's 18. He's 18, so we just live the bachelor life.
I get it.
Yep.
I get it. I'm a fan.
He lives the bachelorette lifestyle, he says.
You gotta throw.
I don't know what that means, but it ain't with me, I promise.
You gotta throw some red pepper flakes on there and some Frank's Red Hot, and it'll change his life.
Don't do that to us. You know we're simple.
It'll change his life.
I didn't think he had any seasons in here. Do you, Lincoln? Yeah, dude. Okay.
Some pepper. Does he throw some pepper in there? You got to throw some cracked pepper in there. Some fresh ground.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Are you gonna do? I wouldn't do that. You're gonna ruin it.
What? It elevates the hell out of mac and cheese.
All right, hold on. Perfect meth. It is meth. We smoke meth over here. We're gonna do this. This is it. 'Cause I don't want to fuck this up.
The smoked chipotle Tabasco sauce. Smoked chipotle Tabasco sauce, is that the one that they have at Chipotle? Because if it is, I love it, but I don't buy it specifically because I don't want to ruin my love for it, and I only get it when I'm at Chipotle. But I have seen it in stores, and I resist buying it. All right, we got these reviews. It's let's just say 147. 147. Sean Rowe. Let's see what he's got. Top 20 of your fleet, most of the Leviathans, a couple of executors. Are you coordinating? No. Bonez will tell you not to coordinate because he's a dumbass. I'm going to tell you to coordinate because it makes your life so much easier. Assault battles look mostly caught up. Rebel Roundup is only CT2, which tells me you probably don't have Jabba, which hurts me in the soul. Lever Boys are R7, which is okay depending on your GP. I don't know what your GP is yet. Currently working on target practice Boogaloo for the new raid. Guild has set a 5 million requirement, so also thinking of going for Pirates and Hondo as they're my favorite characters. Also looking towards Jabba. See, there you go. Don't have Jabba yet. As well as Leviathan and Afra. Are you dead set? No, I can change my priorities. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun farms? I prefer fun farms overall, but would also rather not completely disregard efficiency. Jocasta New is at 255 of 330. Okay, so let's take a look. Have 9 million. He is hitting, I don't know what he's normally hitting, but I know right now he's at 20. I'm going to tell you again that your executor with, I believe it's with Mark 6, can take out Leviathans, so you should be able to hit top 1 with the right amount of time. Want to look at your raid stuff because it seems like your guild needs raid stuff.
Can I just can I say something to negate one thing? I heard Afra. Afra's the worst legendary in the entire game. It takes a Datacron for her to even be relevant. Just throw that off your list. She should always be last. New things should always be priority over Afra. That's the one character.
I don't think that she's bad, but I do agree with you that she is a hyper luxury, and she is someone that's kind of she always gets put off because other things are always more important. So I will agree with you on that point.
Also, how many Omicrons does she need? Because she needs a couple to be good.
Usually, I think I have 1 on her. But you're she doesn't clean up anything too crazy. She can clean up a Jabba depending on Datacrons. Not Datacrons, depending on Datacrons on Jabba rather. Let's see. Okay, so we're looking at a 5 million target on this raid. Jocasta New, I think you can still buy shards of her. But we're going into the last time that you can buy. Wait. So SM33 is new. So you can buy Jocasta New shards for another 4. If you are getting target practice Boogaloo, which is Bad Batch, and it looks like you're fairly close, and you get them to R5. That's 1.2 million right there. Um, your Keller and Beck squad, if you get Jocasta New over the next 2 months, between buying her shards and just completing conquest at a high level, that's another 1.8 there. You need Keller and Beck, you need Jocasta New. Shakti is the only other required character, which I don't even see here. Oh, you do G12. And then you can use really any two other. I use Jedi Consular, right? Like they're not important at that point. That's another 1.8, so that gets you to 3 in 2 teams. A Tarkin solo will get you to 3-3. A Hondo solo will get you to 3-6. Honestly, I think waiting for pirates is a mistake unless you're going to completely wail on them. By the time that pirates become actually farmable, you're going to be on the tail end of this raid, the back half. And if your guild is setting a 5 million target, you kind of need to get on that now. So I personally would be putting some degree of priority towards these clones, at least, even just to R5. If you have one R7 team with Jedi Vanguard, that's 1.8. One R5 team with Bad Batch, that's 1.2. One R5 team with Apo and Tarkin and the clones, that's 1.2. That gets you 2.4, 3.4, 4.2. And then you do like a Hondo, 4.5. And as the clones start to come out, you'll have a team that'll get you into tier 1 and tier 2. You should be good. I think.
Okay, quick question, and this kind of goes with what I don't remember who said it in the chat, talking about like should he hold off or whatever for the 3 or 4 man teams. Shouldn't we all wait to see what if they're gonna nerf anything?
I think it depends on where you are and what your overall plan is. I think that if you're in a position where you have to make one choice over another choice, and you're making a choice specifically because of undermans, then yes, you need to wait. But if you're making a choice in terms of like an overall team, then no, I don't think you need to wait. And I do think that you need some of these teams for other aspects of the game as well. Clones are just a good choice. They're a good team, and some of the bugs they're fixing with them that are going to change the raid are just bugs with the team overall. So it's going to maybe cause an issue in the raid because of Lord Vader, but it's going to buff the team in other game modes. Like Disguised Clone Trooper is getting 20% turn meter at a useless point in his turn right now, and this will make him a lot better in everything else.
Because when it comes to R9ing things, and I'm stepping back and looking, because to me, I can't just R9 anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So some people can just R9 from the
a lot of those R9,
you know what I mean?
A lot of the undermans are at R9. And if you're only doing this for the underman, you should wait. But this is someone who, at this point in the game, we're not talking about R9 teams. So it really isn't even, like the clone split only works at R9. So it's not even in contention here. But we can definitely.
Okay, sorry, I kind of wanted to touch on that earlier, but continue on with the review. You know me, I like to sidetrack.
No, that's why you're here, Bones. It makes my roster review seem longer.
Also, all proceeds are split between me and Egnards tonight.
I don't know if you know this, but we don't get super chats, and we don't get subs here. This is the poor man's brunch. When it does happen,
after beer money, after beer money made today, it goes to me. I'm just kidding with it.
When it happens, I go, oh, why did you do that? Because we're not entertaining here. We're informative, and people pay the entertainers, which makes sense. It emulates real life with like Brad Pitt makes lots of money, but teachers don't.
Also, Brad Pitt is from 2.5 hours from me, Springfield, Missouri.
Okay. Does he do
I want
meth?
to say that. Yes,
Econ-
he used to. He still does. That's how he's
econ-
still going.
economy met economy brunch at the Motel 6. We'll leave the
All
bones
right,
on
do your
for you.
review.
Um,
Do your
so
review.
so what I would do is, if your guild is pushing a hard 5 million target, Keller and Beck team with Jocasta. So that means you're gonna have to buy Jocasta shards to R7. Your Bad Batch to R5, which you're working on. I would really start working on the clones to your R5. Uh, After that, let's actually take a look at the other things going on in your account. Your
Um,
tracker. Yeah.
while you're transitioning, I just want to say, like, when it comes to conquest characters, and I think whether they're good or bad, don't ever let it get past the phase where you can buy them for, what is it, 600 crystals for 5
Yeah.
shards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even that might feel steep to some of you. Don't let it get past that phase, because then it's several weeks where you can't get anything,
You can't get
and then
anything.
you're relying on proving grounds. So it's something that I learned very early on, is like, don't let it get past that point, because then you're fucked for a long time.
You
So
are.
even if you
You
have to
are.
pay that 600 crystals for 5, do it, because it is worth it. And I've had to do that a few times starting out, but now I've gotten better where I don't even have to worry about it anymore.
I think being at like 9 million, you're at a point where if you're smart, you should be able to at least gold crate. And you shouldn't even
Yeah,
have to crystal farm these characters. Um, I
correct.
think you're at a point where like you should be prioritizing unlock, even if you're not going to use them right away, prioritizing unlocking the character to some degree, even if it's in 5 months, even if it's in 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I want to check on, do we have Fury? We do have Fury.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Have Malgus, obviously. Okay. And raid history, 600,000. What is your guild doing right now in the raid? So I think one thing I would do is go to your guild and ask them what the timelines are for certain things. Your guild right now is doing 85 million, which is about a 2 million roughly per person. They were doing less than 200 on Battle for Naboo, so about 3.5 to 4, and they're asking for 5 million on this raid. I think the first thing you need to do as a guild is you need to set definitive targets. So my guild has set a 3 raid target, which we've already maxed. We've already beat our 3 raid target. I have set a 3-month target, and then I've set like a 6-month stretch goal. So that you kind of understand the timeline of how much time you have to get to these goals. Because if you get Keller and Beck team to R7 and Boogaloo to R5 with the solos, based on where your guild is at, you should be pretty good for like 3 months. But those are the target goals I would have for the raid for you. I would very, very, very strongly recommend trying to work towards Leviathan. Realistically, fleets really make or break an account in this game. And I know that they're boring to play, and I hate playing fleets too, but they really give you the resources to push ahead. They give you the resources to make the choices that you want to make. That is not to say if Hondo is like a fan favorite character for you, you can certainly go for him, but don't wait for him and only slow farm towards him. Put your extra stuff towards Hondo, not anything prominent. And that again comes from the fact that he's a favorite character. Would I go for Hondo in your position? I probably wouldn't. I don't think Um, I don't think you'll have any reason to based on your guild. But if that's your favorite character, then fine. Slow farm towards it. So I'd get those 3 raid teams up to where I kind of said I would start working towards Leviathan, and then yeah, slow farm towards Hondo, and you should be pretty good. Alley, pending what they do with the Underman teams, if they mess with them, that changes things. For this person, it doesn't really, because all of those most. I'm not talking about this from an Underman perspective. I'm talking about this from a full team perspective. And I'm not talking about R9 teams, which is where a lot of the major problems with Undermans come from. I really don't think CG is concerned about the lower man Undermans. I don't think they're concerned about Tarkin solos or Hondo solos. They don't give a shit about that. They're concerned with the fact that you can do one clone team and get 7.2 million. And one of those clone teams is actually very easy. The Tarkin Scorch is super, super easy to do with the right mods. The other one's a pain in the ass to get the 3.6, but it's not that terribly hard to get the 2.5, which is over a 7 anyway. So that's
So
where I would go.
something I kind of want to preach to people is sometimes used to this was more of a thing that you could do before they started putting like relic limits on legendaries and other content. When you could just take someone to 7-star and go in, you wanted to put the minimum you could into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people are too focused on what's the least I can put into something and get the most out of it, and that's ROI. I get that, but at this point, it's like you just said, fuck the underman teams. Just work on a 5-man team that's needed. No, then you're good. No matter what they change, you're good. I've kind of gotten. I used to be like that. What's the ROI I can do? Obviously in a dumber version and
Yeah.
less efficient way. But I used to still have that mindset. Now it's just like, okay, I need this team. I'm going to work on it. Once it's done, I'm going to take it to the relic level I want for the rest of my life, and I'm going to move on. I never have to touch it again. And if you just do that, yes, it sucks today and tomorrow and the next month or two that you're working on it. But once you're done with them and you've pimped them out how you want, you can just move on and never remember. You just go to the next team and you forget about that one. And it's just like kind of like when you're in a rough patch in your life. It sucks at the moment, but you'll forget about it later on
When
when
you get
things are
past
better.
it.
So
I
yeah.
don't
So
agree with Bones often, but I do agree with your take here. I think a lot of us are conditioned from a pre-Rise of the Empire time when, like, you'd take everybody went to R3, your strongest teams went to R5, and then the one great character on that team went to R7. And Rise of the Empire put us in a position where you do need to relic characters higher than that and take full teams to higher levels. And even though platoons are more important than combats, the combats over the course of 50 players do matter considerably. Maybe not in day one, the R5 tier, but it does matter. Day 3 to day 6, it matters in my guild, and that's the difference between 2 or 3 stars. So you do want to take teams up, and I'm not somebody, even with like the gas event, and you'd see on Reddit, people are like, why does this take 8 hours? I've been playing this battle for 8 hours. This fucking sucks. We hate CG. And then they'd post a screenshot and their entire team is G12 and they're missing half the Zetas. And it's like, well, yeah, of course, that's why.
yeah, even back then, guys, they just introduced relics, and you had to relic like 3 or 4 of them, to at least 3 or 5. I remember that. I don't remember exactly, and they were actually characters who you didn't really want to relic, even today's standards. It was like
Yeah.
a Saj and stuff. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Terminate. I gave Meathead my feedback, and I did tell him that if they change the Undermans, be prepared for a lot of backlash. I did come up with. I did a video yesterday about my, not a comparison, my compromise, which I think will still make people mad, but not as mad, which is essentially allowing the Undermans, but a score penalty for having less slots filled. Not not super great, but you'd still, instead of a 7.2 team becoming a 3.6 team, that 7.2 team becomes a 5.4 team. I do agree with your take that the people most likely to be affected by this change are the people most likely to be pushing Hondo anyway. But I do get from their perspective. I
I
kind of,
think.
it is
I'm
what it
sorry
is.
about it. Go ahead.
No, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's the most friendliest way to do it. don't make it to where you can't underman it. Just give the player a penalty for undermanning it. That kind of sounds shitty when you say it out loud, but at least it still allows a person like me to start contributing to the raid sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If they don't even allow you to do 4 or less, then that's where it's like it's forcing you to work on all the team.
Yeah.
But if you can at least still take in 3, that's more free to play friendly than not allowing you to do it, and you're still getting a penalty. So I think that's actually not that bad of a thing, I
So
guess.
Hugsy, I will tell you that my score penalty, I'm going to see if I have it on this account or not. Let me just close this because I'm going to end up doxing myself otherwise. Score penalty. There we go. And I'll pop it back up. So I thought about that, and this is basically how I have it set up. Not 150, 125. So essentially, here is how I proposed it. Let's just make sure you can't see everything. I guess we have to go to 100%. Here's how I proposed it in my video. And I did send this to Meathead as well. But essentially, at tier 0 and 1, there would be no score modifier. Because I do not think that they are looking to hurt those solos. But the idea would be that for players like myself, there would be a little bit more of a penalty as you move forward. And the new score split for clones would be 5.1. And I will reiterate that I would prefer them not to change anything. But this is my compromise under the assumption that I believe it is very likely that they will make a change. So this is my way of saying, hey, I know you're going to do it. Let's do it in as friendly a way as we possibly can.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. Yeah, I couldn't be mad at that at all.
Yeah.
I get that it's bullshit, but welcome to Slugga. This is 10 years. After a while.
Welcome to mobile gaming.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have time for one more before I have to wake up my wife and be like, hey, are we going to this movie?
Okay, so what did we determine this guy to work on? I feel like we got no progress.
No, I did. I told him exactly what to work on. Those 3 raid teams, I told them, to work towards Leviathan as a slow farm, and I told them to work towards Hondo, and I only told them to work towards Hondo because, and here's why, I know you're not normally here for my roster reviews, Bones. I am very specifically ask people about their favorite characters, so I don't, believe it or not, take a full efficiency approach. I take these are the things I want you to work on, and I know these are the things that you really want to work on. So as much as I don't sound like a person who wants you to have fun, I do want you to have fun with your account.
I do that pretty much too. Like, I look at it as, what do you really need? And if I look at, you got the basics down, you can go do something fun. I'm like, it's important that you have fun with the game first. If you ain't having fun farming this, then you might as well not even do it.
Yeah, so that is a big thing when I do these things as well, is I want people, I ask them for their favorite characters so that I know those things.
And I don't think it real quick, and I'll shut up. It doesn't hurt to work on the newest thing. If you're not sure, just work on the newest thing. I get it's a little slower farm, but people like Lord Vader, they don't have their own things they're tied to. But the newer GLs, the newer legendaries are tied to some kind of event, tied to TB, tied to when I say event, like, what I'm talking about in the event section.
No, CG is definitely signaling that they want you working towards the new thing. Is it always the best thing to do? No, but I do agree with you that generally it is relatively safe, because it will be tied to something that your guild will need you to do. All right. Let's see. We got one more we can do today. Lifesaber. Would love a roster review. Came back to the game after a year and a half, so don't really know what to proceed with. Top 20 of Fleet Arena looks like a 75-25 split between Leviathan and Executor. I'm in the Discord, but it's really quiet and has been for the past 3 years. I will remind Lifesaber and everybody else that your fleet Discord is not about chatting. Nobody talks in a fleet Discord. It's just about finding out payouts, and there should be a payout channel that lets everyone know that. So as long as the payouts are updated, it doesn't even matter. It
Yeah.
seems that
No, good.
it seems that most of the old assault battles are caught up here. Some of the newer ones are not caught up. Currently finishing up Leviathan, need like 8 relic levels across a couple characters. It looks like one more Proving Grounds for Fury class. Not sure what's next. Maybe unlock Cal, since all of the requirements are G10 or G11. He's a quick unlock. After that, maybe Lover Boys for Assault Battle or Leia Profundity Bo-Katan. How highly do you value efficiency? Mostly efficiency. There is fun in being efficient. Okay, so this is an account that just needs to get caught up. Nena, we can never, when it comes to Ahsoka, I my theory with Ahsoka. I do think there is an event planned for her, and things with Naboo just change the trajectory. I don't necessarily think she's a bad team. She's just a bad team without Hezra. So if you're using her with Hezra, she's a solid team. It's just that people on the top end are using her with using Rey with Hezra. A GL is always a GL. A GL is always good. But you have to look at it from a hindsight is 2020 perspective. We, at least for Hondo, are hard signaling. We know it's for the raid, right? Whether, however good or not, we are aware of what their goal is right now. Let's
Yeah, I agree.
actually see this
I think
account
Glatt,
now. Go ahead.
unless you're 10, 11 million, I think Glatt should not even be on your radar. She's doing nothing but sitting on defense for me. She sometimes gets holds, but it's not like every time. So for now, I don't think she should be anyone's priority unless it's your favorite character. Or that's why I did it. I like Ahsoka, so I just went for it.
Well, we're
You know,
talking about it like in a pre-time, but you're right. Like now, hindsight, like
yeah, yeah,
not as great.
yeah.
Fleet rank 47, so you're at least getting fleet crystals. I want to check out because I don't see your Mark 6. So I don't know all of how this works with the Mark 6 with Executor, but I know that it can beat Leviathan. I don't know if Executor needs to be 7 stars or not. Are you aware of this counter, Bones?
I don't know about the Mark 6 one. I know with Profundity Mark 6, it counters
Yes.
Leviathan. I just want to say every day on my 13.7 million account, I can't even climb past 100.
Yeah.
There are on defense executors and dick plate. And for you guys that don't know, dick plate is my name for the punishing one. It looks like a dick sat down on a plate. You're welcome. It beats me on defense. Like I take my Leviathan, I bring in the Sith Assassin or whatever it's called, not Sith Assassin, whatever the fuck the mall ship is first. Bring in the second one, I do it all manually, and I will still lose against the dick plate. So I don't know the Mark 6 counter, but if he just farms the hell out of the dick plate, he can get number 1. What annoys me is I go all in on ships. I have every ship, and there are like 3 or 4 people on my other account that only have Executor. They don't have any other ship but the Executor and the dick plate, and they're knocking me down, getting 1.
Yeah.
Out of the top 10. So I know you asked a whole different question, but I would just say get that dick plate because you don't need any other team right now as far as ships. You can counter everything with Executor and dick plate, and you can climb up to number 1 no matter what's up there.
How many
You
times
don't
can you
have to
say
be
dick
scared of
plate in a
anything.
sentence?
What's that?
How many times can you say dick plate in a sentence?
Dick plate, dick plate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll work on it. I just want to make sure it gets out there, the name.
I would definitely at least slow farm the dick plate because it was a catch in chat who said it. Hugsy had said it that he didn't have it. I'm so used to just seeing it, I see past it. Even if you're not going for fleets with Executor, it's just a good ship to elevate that ship for GAC. The only reason that I would say push Leviathan is this person already is pretty much at the end of their Leviathan farm. Um, that's something that they've already been working on. They need 240 carbonate circuit boards. They're right there, and they will have um, what's its name, Fury class in 2 weeks once Conquest is over. So that should free up the Leviathan crap anyway. I would say I really strongly think Lover Boys need to be done. I just think at this level of gameplay, you need those materials that you're going to get from them. It is one of the highest ROI events in this entire game. Is that how he gets his meth? The dealer gives him a dick plate. It is one of the highest ROI events in the game, those Lover Boys. Now at 8.8 million, I don't know if you need to bring them to R9. I am a huge proponent of Lover Boys to R9. I think at 9 million, it's a luxury. I definitely think that R7 is something you have to do for those guys. That should quite literally happen right away for you. What else are we missing? Duel of the Fates, that'll help it out. Round War.
My biggest regret in Swugga history is not working on them right away. I put them off for whatever else I was farming. And the GAC viability, the assault battle viability, they're fantastic.
They're
ROI.
such a good team. Like seriously, such a good team. Now he doesn't have Queen Amidala for them being a good team, but it is such a good team. You already pretty much have a lot of the necessary Zetas on the Night Sisters. I wouldn't bring them past like G12. I would not use Chirotech on them. But if you bring Merrin to G12, which will get you that Jedi Knight Cal Kestis that you're looking for, and you bring Daka and Zombie to G12, you will get at least CT1 on Secrets and Shadows. Maybe maybe CT2. Now I'm assuming you're gonna have to like remod a little bit and get all speed and health and blah blah blah. But that CT1 will actually be relatively easy. So I would say finish Leviathan, go hardcore towards the Lover Boys. After that, you can definitely go for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. It will work. It'll really elevate you as a guild asset to have that. Once you have Merrin at G12 for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, I definitely would try to just build out the core of the Night Sister team again just to G12. Mother Talzin, Daka, Merrin, Zombie, Asajj. That'll get you another CT1, and those CT1s are really important. I don't see your Inquisitors. Let's see what your guild is doing for this unit. Grand Inquisitor. I would honestly, I want to see what before I tell you to go for Inquisitors. Check out this raid. So about a 2. You guys are still doing battle for Naboo as of right now. You're probably going to need roughly 2 million. Let's check out your Order 66 viability. Not too much here. Oh, where's Hondo? Do you have Hondo unlocked?
What's this guy's GP again?
About 9 million, but he left the game for a year.
Yeah, doesn't that feel like shit? Like that's why I have to log in every day, because the feeling of you missing a day and those resources, you probably get $25 in free resources every day just for logging in.
Also, fuck you, Bones.
Baby Yoda, love you, brother. Also, terminate. Fuck you. I am the shit master.
You're only worth a fuck you, Bones light. You're not even worth a rant. I would say with the raid, I would try to minimum effort this right now because you have so much to catch up on. Tarkin will give you a 300,000. If you bring Hondo up to like relic levels, I don't know the lowest you can do a Hondo solo at. It might be G12, it might be relic 5. Bring him up for another 300,000. These are super, super easy things you can do without spending too many resources. I would start working on Keller and Beck to work towards Mandalore as well for your guild, because that is going to give you the other pieces. You're going to have a hard time doing super well in the raid without Jocasta Nu. But with Keller and Beck, with Shakti, with like Ayla, Qui-Gon, and even Plo Koon at like R5, you should be able to max that R5 tier at 1.2 million. And if you do that, Grand Moff Tarkin and Hondo, you'll be right around where your guild needs you to be at not too heavy a cost. So finish Leviathan, Lever Boys, work towards Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and Merrin, build out Hondo just to enough to get that tier 1 solo.
Dick plate. That's important.
Work on Dick Plate as like a slow farm right now, because you are getting Leviathan, but definitely put something towards it because it will elevate that Executor like considerably. And work towards Bo-Katan and Keller and Beck, and working towards Mandalore, because having Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and Bo-Katan are going to make you a guild asset. So those are kinds of things that are going to help build out the back end of your account so that you are pretty set for. And by the way, fuck you, Bones again. Mary J coming in hot. Still not worth anything more than a fuck you, Bones light, but it's fine.
Mama. No, fuck you, MJ. You fuck.
So that's what I would do here is. Yes, Hugsy. Leviathan is not as strong pre-7. I, again, am not a expert. I know there are ways to use a 5-star Leviathan to beat a 7-star Leviathan, but that it's a pain in the ass and not the most reliable thing in the world. But I also don't have this person here. I don't know how quickly they plan on bringing Leviathan up to 7 stars. But it is a fair point. What?
Does he have TIE Bomber?
We can find out.
That thing is essential to no matter who you're using as a capital ship. That thing stops assists and everything. So it's one of the most valuable that people don't talk about ships to have in the game. Because when you call it in, it puts that burning buff and people can't assist and it fucks everything up. So I don't know if he has it, but it's definitely something to have in here.
He does. Right there.
Now, obviously, this is easier said than done, but look up some ship counters. I know we're supposed to be telling you how to do all that.
No, I specifically tell people I'm not a fleets guy, but who's do you have any idea of people who have good videos on fleet counters?
Yeah, Womp Rat, Scribe, everyone but Bit Dynasty. Just don't watch his stuff. He'll steer you wrong.
Look up a Bit Dynasty video. Jack One Best actually has some good ones too, and I know he's a Scoundrel alumni. He helped me win Rabid Beaver's GAC by sending me his videos of it.
I forgot about that. I didn't watch it. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. I had to eat a lot of sour cream, which was disgusting. I hate sour cream so much. But it was
spoonfuls or something?
Spoonfuls of sour cream. It was so bad. It was so
I'm just thinking mayonnaise. I love sour cream, but if I had to do like mayonnaise, oh my god!
I hate both of them. They're both the grossest things for me.
Sorry, continue on.
This thing Hugsy posted was blocked by the moderator, the auto mod. I saw a video about Lando's MILF countering Leviathan, and that was blocked. I love it.
Also Meathead. Meathead is a curse word in Twitch. Whenever anyone says Meathead, I have to uncensor it.
Well, I think weird. Meathead is a Russian slur. I think it comes from like.
Oh, is it?
It is. I think or Polish. It might be Polish. I remember they used to say it in All in the Family. Archie Bunker used to call his son-in-law Meathead.
Meathead just makes me think of the tip of your penis. That's what it makes me think of.
Specifically mine. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always wondered.
Um,
That's what I imagine when I think of your dick.
so Bones, I
It's a
we're
big
in,
shovel, a gigantic end to his penis, and it's like the rest is like this
I hate
big.
it. I hate
But
it.
the
I hate it.
that's what you need is the
No,
top of it only needs to be this big to do anything. So that's all you need. Continue on. I'm sorry.
I don't like it. We are nearing the end because we are going to see Megan um, today, and I have to go wake up my wife. Um, so even though I know you're on a brief hiatus right now,
Not
because
forever though.
you're
I will
no
never leave
brief
you guys.
hiatus. You're getting your shit together. You've got a job. You've got clients. It's awesome. You just need some time to
Yep.
sort out. But while we're getting ready to raid Womprat, pimp your shit out, and we will get going for the day.
Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm the guy that you come to watch. You will learn something. You will learn what not to do in Swelga. You will learn something. If you are feeling bad about losing your GAC, come on by and watch me embarrass myself worse than you ever did. I'm here for the failures, the losers. The losers win again. So my name is Bones88. It's the same thing on Twitch. I don't do YouTube stuff. That's for the douchebags of Swugga, the douchebag content creators. They like to do YouTube. They care about their clicks and their views. I don't. I come here to lose. I come here to look like a fucking idiot, and I do great at it. Anyways, Bones88 on Twitch. I'm just kidding. I love everyone. I love all of the people of this thing. That was a terrible promo for my thing. I'm just talking out my ass here. But yeah, come check us out. We also do Three Scoundrels in a Cantina. If you haven't heard of us, you don't play Swugga. It's we do
Or you
that
have
every
culture.
Thursday, every Thursday, 8:30 p. It's been a while since I've done this. 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, live on Twitch, and then we upload it on all podcast sites pretty quickly after. And I do appreciate the people who freak out when we don't, because it makes me feel good that we're actually doing something that people enjoy. Also, no one ever hangs out with us on this one, but we have the Huts Hangout. That's me, Aussie Mike, and Lost Womprat every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern. And we do the same live on Twitch, upload to things. Both great shows, good people. Yeah. So, and Egnards, I think, does the show more than I do anymore.
Yeah, I do.
So go check them
Yeah.
out there.
Just so you
I
know,
think that's about it.
Twitch auto rated Womprat, but you're still people on YouTube are still listening to you. It was like you're taking too long. We're auto rating.
Damn, that was quick. All right.
But
Well, I
hey,
appreciate
listen,
you
those
two.
of you that are on YouTube, speaking of clicks, do me a favor and go make a playlist of all of my 2-minute auto videos. And whenever you're not
Yep.
at your computer, just play them on mute. Just
That's
play them on
what
mute.
I do.
I get a penny per ad. Just play them on mute. Help a brother out.
That's not a bad thing. Also, if you're watching Twitch, people just open a bunch of tabs and pick all your favorite people
There you
and
go.
hit play.
There you go,
That's
guys.
another way you can help out.
Help a brother
But
out.
all right, brother. Well, I appreciate hanging out with me. I know
Yeah.
it takes a lot of convincing to have to deal with me for a couple hours, but it does mean a lot to hang out with you, brother.